It isn't every day that we come to the office and plan a behind the desk where we think it's not going to get a lot of views. But today is something very, very different because the topic at hand is something we don't feel is ripe for the general public yet. It's brought about because we recently came out on a road trip with an EV, but we figure at some point people are going to be reliant on this video because we know EVs are going to be much more popular eventually. Now, with that in mind, allow us to present to you 5 tips for road trips with an EV. Again, this video comes about because, well, if you don't know, Earl and I recently came from a road trip, a very long road trip with an electric vehicle, which was quite adventurous. A little scary at the end, but adventurous nonetheless. And if you want to see that video, the links are somewhere down below. The first is going to be the most obvious. Make sure you are fully charged before the start of any road trip. It happens to the best of us, right? Sometimes we're dead tired at the end of the day, for instance our phones, and we're trying to plug it in, but eventually we forget and we fall asleep, and then when we wake up the next day, patay, there's no charge on the mobile phone. That cannot happen with your car. You gotta make sure it's fully charged before any road trip. Now, there are some cars out there, EVs obviously, that when you charge it, it only goes up to 80% to preserve the battery. But if you're going on a road trip, you can change the settings to make sure that the car accepts as much charge as possible, filling it all the way up to 100%. It's not recommended for all the times, but for road trips, we suggest you top that sucker up. And unlike a phone, you don't have a power bank for a car. Unless they haven't invented it yet. The second is optimize your load. Earl and I did the exact opposite on our recent very long road trip with an electric vehicle where we put weights inside the car to simulate more passengers inside the car.
Forget the kids.
You don't forget the kids, yeah, that's true. But if you don't need to bring Earl, don't bring Earl.
Hey.
Just keep it to the essential stuff that you really need for the trip. Got it? Good.
Bring Jack next time.
Bring Jack next. No, I'd rather bring Earl. Jack is a quite heavy man.
Bulky.
Strong. Number 3 is regenerative braking. Now, you can make good use of this when you're going downhill or taking the cars around corners, where as you slow down, more power is fed off from the brakes, or as the car slows down, back into the batteries. It's not going to top you up. Say, let's say, for example, you're at 80 and then you expect it to go back to 100. No, that's not going to happen. But what it can do is help make your journey a little bit longer through regenerative braking. Now, EVs also have the option of going from standard regenerative braking to higher regenerative braking. It might take a toll on your sanity when you put it on high because you expect the car to coast a little bit more. But trust me, once you get used to it, you'll understand that zero waste going out as you brake and sustaining it by putting it back into the battery ever so slightly will help you heaps. A lot on a road trip, and I do mean a lot. Number 4, when in doubt, plan it out. Understand that when you're taking an EV out, there are limitations. For now, mind you, there are several limitations that you must contend with. And the main one is where is it exactly you're gonna get juice. You gotta plan these trips out much like before. I don't know, this is gonna be hard for you guys to understand, but much like before cell phones were invented, where we had to make sure that we communicated where it is that we were going to go, where it is that we're going to stop. This was, yes, 19 kopong-kopo. But understand, EVs do have limitations, so you may have to plan your trips out as well. Let's say, for example, where it is that you can top up along the way, or the hotel that you're going to. Does it have chargers there? Think of it much like a bathroom break for your car. Aw, that's so cute. And the kids will probably need a bathroom break too. In tangent with point number 4, let's talk about the chargers also that are available in and out of the metro. There are 3 types. Number 1 would be your basic 22 kilowatt charger, which you can find at malls or hotels. Now these are, well, they will take some time for you to charge your vehicle. These are better for overnights kind of a thing. Sort of like it will take you forever in a day kind of a thing when you're not in a rush. Then you've got the chargers that are between 60 to 80 all the way up to maybe 100 kilowatts. Now these are good for, let's say for example, if you're stopping for lunch, good for about an hour and a half to bring your car, let's say for example, from 30% to 80% in about an hour's kind of a time. Rates also will go up the faster that you charge your car, which would bring me to the fastest charger of them all, which is 180 kilowatts. Now this is good for like a coffee break or a banyo break where it can really charge your car from, let's say, 20 to 80% in roughly about 25 minutes. Yeah, those are really quick. So again, plan your route and see which of these chargers are going to be available to you. The fifth tip is, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but drive economically. Yeah, I'm saying this. Look, I understand that EVs are ridiculously quick and fun to drive, but when it comes to a road trip, you're gonna want to, well, taper that down, because after all, it's not a short burst that you're after. It's not a 100-meter dash. It's a marathon that you're trying to get to. So drive economically. Don't have a lead foot. Watch your air conditioning system. In the case of if you're using the large screen that's available inside the car, if you don't need it on all the time, turn it off every so often. It's small tips like that that you can add to your economical driving too that can extend your battery life. If you'd like to know more about how to drive economically, although it being an internal combustion engine, watch the video down below. The links are down below because it's roughly the same. It's stuff like drive within your means. Don't drive so aggressively. Don't change lanes and please, no road rage. Just some tips. The links down below. These obviously are tips for you to use when needed. We're not saying for you not to enjoy the full benefits of an electric vehicle. No, not at all. It's just that, well, we understand too well, because of the recent road trip that we were just on, that when you're in a pinch, there are certain things that you can do that if it doesn't put charge back into the battery, then maybe it can relieve some of your anxiety. You know what I'm saying? You'll understand that more when you watch our video. Trust me, Earl got me in a knot half of the time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. I hope to see you soon.